Happy World Environment Day to all. On behalf of Council for Green Revolution, Hyderabad, I welcome all the distinguished guests and the participants. First of all, I would like to welcome our chief guest, Sri Mehta ji, renowned environmental lawyer, Supreme Court of India. Very good morning, sir. We welcome you. Thank you very much for sparing your time with us. I take the privilege of welcoming Professor K. Purushottam Reddy Garu, very famous environmentalist and former head of Department of Political Science, Osmania University. I welcome Dr. P. Vijaya Kalyani, Principal Padala Rami Reddy Law College. Welcome, Madam.
Thank you.
I welcome Sri Lakshma Reddy Garu, Founder, Council for Green Revolution, founder and patron of Greens Alliance for Conservation of Eastern Ghats, GRACE. He is, in fact, the force behind all the work that we have been doing. I take the pleasure of welcoming Srimati Leela Reddy, Madam. She is the president of Council for Green Revolution, doing a lot of good work for the environment and for the people. Mr. Dilip Reddy Garu, Chairman, Green Alliance for Conservation of Eastern Ghats, GRACE. Welcome you, sir. I also welcome Dr. N. Sai Bhaskar Reddy Garu. He is the director of Earth Center. Welcome, Dr. Sai Bhaskar Reddy, sir. I also welcome our environmental lawyer, budding lawyer, Pawan Kumar and Yashwant. These are the people who are really, doing all that is possible to conduct this program and many other, initiatives of CGR. Very good morning to all of you once again. The theme of this World Environment Day is environmental restoration. And this is with the slogan, reimagine, recreate, and restore. The United Nations, the whole world is celebrating. The nature has been doing this reimagining, recreating, and restoring on its own for more than 4.5 billion years. Nature has its own way of doing. It's not only the earth, all the living organisms on this planet, they do the same, except the human beings. We have never heard that a tiger or a lion or any other living organism spoiled the environment. Now we feel sorry for all the mess that we have created. In order to remind our responsibilities, the Council for Green Revolution, CGR, is organizing this national webinar to observe the World Environment Day. On this occasion, we are also launching the Earth Center and new courses on environment and environmental law. The details will be provided a little later. Learned speakers are here. I'm so happy that many participants have joined here with us to share our thoughts and to do something good for the environment. I'll tell you a little bit about the scheme of the program. After my introduction, Madam, Leela Reddy Madam will be delivering her lecture, and followed by Dilip Reddy Garu. He will share his views about the efforts and activities happening in the Green Alliance for Conservation of Eastern Ghats. Then Professor Purushottam Reddy Garu will share his experience and wisdom. That will be followed by the address by our chief guest, Sri Mehta ji. That will be followed by Madam Dr. P. Vijaya Kalyani, Principal Padala Rami Reddy Law College. Then it will be followed by the views expressed by Sri Lakshma Reddy Garu and Sai Bhaskar Reddy sir. Just before Sri Mehta ji speaks, we'll have a 2 minutes video presentation on the Earth Center and what it is going to do. Okay. So with these few words, we will jump into the program. I welcome Srimati K. Leela Reddy, Madam, the President of Council for Green Revolution, CGR, to share her views. Before she talks, I'd like to tell a few words about her. Srimati Leela Reddy is the president of the Council for Green Revolution. It's an 11-year-old environment organization based at Hyderabad. She hails from a small village in Nalgonda district. Her father was a freedom fighter. She has a natural passion for protecting nature, social cause, and leadership traits. Witnessing the rapid erosion of greenery, degradation of ecosystems, she has done a lot with the help of the Council for Green Revolution to support nature, to protect and do environmental activities. CGR has planted more than 3.5 million saplings in the state of Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. And she has also worked with school children, doing a lot of good work for the people. We welcome you, madam. So kindly share your views.
Good morning, all of you. Today's chief guest, Sri Mehta ji, Professor Sri K. Purushottam Reddy garu, and Dilip Reddy garu, Professor Pushpakumar sir, Dr. P. Vijay Kalyani, Dr. N. Sai Bhaskar, dignitaries, students, media, and others. My greeting to all on this World Environment Day. It's an important day for CGR, and it is an auspicious moment. It's a cheerful occasion that through this webinar, the Earth Center is being inaugurated. It's a pleasure to share that Sri Mehta sir graced a number of programs organized by CGR. We fondly recall his presence at the National Conference on Eastern Ghats at Tirupati in 2014, laying the foundation stone for Earth Center in 2017, the release of Eastern Ghats Environment Outlook at New Delhi in 2019. Sir, we are grateful that you are with us today for this webinar and inaugural of Earth Center. Thank you, sir, for your constant support and blessings for our cause. On this occasion, briefly, I want to share the CGR's 11 years journey with the participants. We could plant 33.9 lakh saplings by involving 10.54 lakh government high school children in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh states. It's the process, we worked with district administrations, forest departments, and education department. Our work was recognized, and in 2012, AP government included a lesson on CGR's work in its 5th class science textbook. Simultaneously, CGR brought out green manifestos, organized conferences on climate change, sustainable development, and other themes relevant to its core mandate. We are facilitating Palle Prakriti Vanams, seed balls, green and sustainable village initiatives at the same time. Exactly a decade ago, on World Environment Day, 5th of June 2011, CGR initiated Greens Alliance for the Conservation of Eastern Ghats, GRACE, at Sri Shailam in Nalamala Hills. Sri Dilip Reddy as chairman, with the guidance of Professor Purushottam Reddy and the support of Dr. Tulsi Rao, Dr. Sai Bhaskar, Shiv Prasad, and others. We organized 3 regional conventions, 2 national conferences, and expeditions. In 2019, we published Eastern Ghats Environment Outlook, which was released by Sri Pranab Mukherjee, former President of India, at New Delhi. Today is another important day for us. We wish to promote Earth Center as a major institution for Earth leadership and environmental education. I request all your support and cooperation for its endeavor. We are facilitating this World Environment Day in many villages across the state to resonate the theme of United Nations designated for the day. The theme pronounces reimagine, recreate, and restore. It is a call for all the humanity on this planet to take a sincere responsibility. It asks to care and conserve the ecosystems everywhere. Restoration is possible only if we restore our mother-child relationship with planet Earth. It is only possible when we restore our ancient spiritual connection with the natural world. It is only possible if all the humanity work in that direction with utmost sincerity. I want to remind the saying of Mahatma Gandhi that earth is not our ancestral inheritance. It is a borrowed asset from our future generations. It reminds that we have to pass a healthy planet to our progeny. I wish the call of the day will reach far and wide. I wish it will help to bring a positive change in the attitudes of people. I wish this webinar will provide important insights into Earth system governance. I thank the joining this inaugural ceremony. I appreciate and congratulate Mr. Pavan Kumar and Mr. Ashwant for the efforts and hard work to organize this program. I thank one and all. I wish you all the best. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I thank you, Pushpa Kumar sir, for nice words introducing me. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, madam. Your good work really will, inspire many people, and it will create many environmentalists in the state of Andhra Pradesh and in India. Thank you very much. Now, I would like to invite Dr. R. Dilip Reddy Garu, the chairman of Greens Alliance for Conservation of Eastern Ghats. Sri Dilip Reddy Garu served as a state information commissioner, Andhra Pradesh Information Commission in Hyderabad. For 5 years, he has served there, and during that time, he has extensively toured within the state and addressed more than 1,300 meetings on right information, creating awareness. And he is commissioner of right information. He has delivered several judgments on transparency, information service matters, and all. He was also a journalist with eNadu. He was a head of the he headed as chief of political bureau at Hyderabad. He has done a lot of work in environment and social issues. Mr. Reddy is also executive editor of Sakshi Telugu Daily. He is serving as a principal of Sakshi School of Journalism. He has many hats, on his credit. He wears many hats. He is also a founder president of Greens Alliance for Conservation of Eastern Ghats, GRACE. He contributed a lot, and he is still contributing, a lot for environment conservation in the area of Eastern Ghats. I very warmly welcome Sri R. Dilip Reddy Garu to share his views.
Namaste.
Namaste, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Pushpa Kumar ji, for putting a few good words about me. This is a great occasion. First of all, let me congratulate and say namaste to all the dignitaries participating today's national webinar, including our all-time inspiration, Dr. Mehta ji, by Professor Purushottam Reddy Garu, who was instrumental in beginning of CGR by Greens Alliance for Conservation of Eastern Ghats, almost exactly a decade back. On this same auspicious day of 5th June, we started Greens Alliance for Conservation of Eastern Ghats as a pedestal by involving many interested and concerned groups for the protection of Eastern Ghats, with a lot of initiations taken by the Council for Green Revolution. GRACE is one amongst them. For remembering that day, exactly 2010, June 5th, we started it in Nallamala, in the heart of Nallamala, Srisailam, the great spiritual center, Srisailam. We started journey, and this 10 years period, what is the theme of the present year? reimagine, restructure, and restore. They recreate and restore the ecosystem. With by keeping that concept in mind, Grace facilitated many such works to conduct together with the like-minded institutions as well as the individuals. In this 10 years journey, we did a lot of awareness among the generations, like young people in the university level, and the children at the school level, and the intellectuals by involving teaching faculty of the universities and the visiting professors of universities. As far as Eastern Ghats is concerned, which is the less important concept in the minds of the rulers at Delhi level, our earnest request while declaring the Bhubaneswar declaration, we made a request that there should be a ownership trusteeship must be constituted by Government of India. And at the same time, we made a request in our declaration that United Nations should recognize Eastern Ghats on par with the Western Ghats as far as environmental biodiversity hotspots are concerned. These all efforts of 10 years mainly focused on the restoration and protection and restoration of the ecosystem only. That's why the subject is perfectly connected with the theme of this year given by the United Nations. I have lot of hope on these sort of webinars where the legal luminaries like MC Mehta is taking part, and people like Professor Purushottam Reddy Garu with a lot of academic experience with having a renowned university like Usmania, political science. And in the new generation, legal fraternity has been inspired by the many recent time professors like Professor Pushpa Kumar Ji. My concern, especially this Corona time, it has been exposed that the greediness of man, where it is heading, this world and the concept of the environment, we are neglected all these years. That has been as a lesson taught by Corona in this pandemic period. People are realizing with this, my hope that lies with the younger generation like Pawan and our Yashwant, who are leading and representing the younger generation, that link between the outgoing generation and the new coming generation, especially by taking the legal device as a main instrument to protect the environment and the environment laws by putting everything beneath the carpet of Corona. Recent governments are diluting the existing laws by stringent provisions to protect the environment forest. Recently, I saw on a report that for every 3 seconds, extent of a football ground of forest is destroyed by the man. If that goes for months, years, and decades together, and ultimately where we will land, that will be very, very dangerous symptoms we are getting with the human destruction, what happening. So to prevent such all destruction, first of all, we have to halt this damage, and we have to protect the environment. And by the by, we have to restore what the damage so far happened to the environment. By keeping these vital aspects in mind, this sort of webinars where the experienced people and whose name is nothing but synonym for the legal understanding of the younger generations, MC Mehta, people like MC Mehta, has to give direction and the drive for all of us for finding new paths for protection of the environment. At this juncture, I hope that this deliberation of the day will definitely show some pathfinding way for us for designing programs. Last year, we planned to do decadal celebration of CGR, but because of Corona, we postponed it for 1 year. But unfortunately, the pandemic span is continued further, so that's why we are not been able to conduct on-ground event as far as the decadal celebration of Grace also. But but I positively hope that with the witness of last 1-2 months developments across the globe, within the India, within our Telugu space, the cases, number of cases is going down, and hope that we will get some sort of relief from this corona pandemic, and we will definitely have such massive on-ground programs and motivating the younger generation and leading them on the right path for the protection of environment and the protection of this planet Earth. Not the future generations. Repeatedly, our experts are telling, think about future, think about future. This dangerous situation came. You need not think much about the future, but present itself going into the havoc situation. So that's why I am positively hoping that a good message will become out of this today's deliberation and will show some path. I'm extending heartful thanks for the organizers for providing me an opportunity to share some of my views with the dignitaries participating in this webinar. Thank you, Ananta.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. It's a very positive note that you have given. You have also raised very vital questions for us to think on this day. Thank you very much for your good work also, sir, because your good work really reflects in protecting environment and also shaping the attitudes of the people. That is very important, that we have to change. It's not that something has to change. If environment has to be protected, we all should change, and your work reflects that. Thank you very much, sir, for your good words. Very nice of you. Now, I would like to invite Professor Purushottam Reddy Garu to share his, rich experience and the words of wisdom with all of us. Every time we learn many things from him. He is the guiding spirit behind all our environmental thinking. Professor Purushottam Reddy Garu is a renowned environmentalist, academician, activist, and political scientist. He served in Osmania University as professor and as the head of the Department of the Political Science Department. And he was also chairman of board of chairman of board of studies in Political Science Department. He has served in different capacities and shaped the lives of many. He has extensively traveled and delivered lectures in different colleges like Academic Staff College, Judicial Academy, MFT School of Government Pune. So like that, many institutions he has gone and delivered lectures to guide the people. He swung into action and shown his leadership after the Bhopal gas tragedy and emerged as India's foremost and well-known environmentalist after that. And he worked on several environment-related issues. He also served as a member of expert committee board. He was the first board of directors in Environment Protection Training Research Institute, EPTRI, member of the Environment Education Committee of the Andhra Pradesh. Like that, his services have been taken by the government as well as in other academic institutions for the betterment. He has authored a book, Environment Education, in 2002. He also co-edited a book, State of Environment in Andhra Pradesh, a Citizen's Report. He was also guiding spirit behind the publication of Eastern Ghats Environment Outlook. Sir, it is such a pleasure to listen to you. So we welcome you to share your words of wisdom. Please, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. At the outset, I wish to compliment Srimati Leela Lakshma Reddy Garu, because of their initiative. CGR, Council for Green Revolution, came into being, and not satisfied with that, they launched GRACE. GRACE is Greens Alliance for Conservation of Eastern Ghats, under the leadership of R. Dilip Reddy Garu. And now the visionary team has come up with a Center for Earth Studies. It is known as the Earth Center. And this center, in the days to come, it's going to play a very, very important role in promoting personalities to develop and evolve and metamorphosize themselves into being Earth leaders. We are all gathered here today to observe a day for the planet Earth. There's nothing like a celebration in this. The problem is very serious, as everybody knows. I've been following David Attenborough for the last maybe 30 years. And now, in his witness statement at the age of 95, after having worked for 70 years on the subject of biodiversity, wildlife, wilderness areas, and reporting to the world, I feel so sad when I went through the witness statement. Today, we are all face to face before extinction. Maybe this is going to be the sixth mass extinction. The problem is very serious. Already United Nations reports, there's UN sponsored reports like the World Commission on Environment and Development. They had identified the depletion of the ozone layer, global warming, loss of biodiversity, spreading desertization, and the danger posed by nuclear reactors and nuclear bombs. But having said that, the report also focuses on the ways and means of decarbonizing the planet Earth, because the problem is basically due to the increasing accumulation of CO2 and other dangerous gases in the atmosphere. So while speaking about decarbonization, the report very clearly talks about sustainable development. So what is sustainable development? I am not going into the details, but suffice it to constantly remind ourselves that we are not the last generation to live on this planet Earth, and life has to continue. Now, having said this, this report was followed by a prescription which evolved from Rio Conference, Agenda 21, subsequently Millennium Development Goals and Sustainable Development Goals. And in addition to this, thanks to Rio, conferences of parties were scheduled on the subject of climate change and for protection of biodiversity. So the world has witnessed innumerable conferences. So, we can call it as synergy for sustainability. That is, intellectuals, activists, global thinkers coming together, and they all came together to evolve an action plan and trying to save the planet Earth. Today, United Nations is appealing to the nations of the world to go in for a decade of ecosystem restoration. It is compelled to speak on this because every ecosystem in the world is collapsing. And this is a very serious issue. As we are speaking today, right now, I saw on the TV just now that in the Himalayas, the snow that is falling there is turning into black. They are worried because what is the reason? The air pollution over the Himalayas is so critical now that even it is affecting changes in the snowfall. We have seen so many disasters manifesting in the Himalayan region. And here we are not saying it is the fault of just India. But a very important ecosystem like the Himalayas, which is surrounded by so many countries, and one of them is a huge superpower, China. The world's largest democracy is India, and in between we have another half a dozen countries. Can't we, or we have Pakistan, Bangladesh, Myanmar, Nepal, and so on. United Nations should have taken the initiative to ensure that very sensitive ecosystems be included in the United Nations Trusteeship Council. We cannot leave it to individual nation states. The UN, having come out with wonderful reports, it is also its duty to ensure that the hundreds of multilateral environmental agreements that have been entered into between the nations of the world, and also the major agreements that have been entered into at Stockholm, Rio, Paris, etc. It is the duty of the UN to come up with institutions to ensure the compliance of these global protocols. And that is where we are suggesting that UN, United Nations in this present form, it is not capable of protecting the planet Earth. They have that, concern is there. Their intellectual activity is there, but that is not sufficient. Therefore, we are proposing changes in the United Nations itself. The Security Council should be structured in such a way that environmental issues become the major concern of its deliberations. In addition to this, we must have a global environmental court. We must have a UN, a global environmental organization. And the trusteeship should be so expanded that every ecosystem like the North Pole, South Pole, the Himalayas, the sensitive Amazon, and the oceans, everything is taken care of. Otherwise, there is no point in simply saying or telling the nations of the world, you take action to protect your ecosystems. The action should begin at the global level. Nations have to follow, and we citizens, instead of simply lamenting on or just trying to find fault that you are not doing. In fact, we need to realize and we need to do what is expected of us. Fundamental duties in India, they prescribe Article 51A very clearly emphasizes that citizens have a very major role. In fact, for the benefit of the citizens, I wish to point them that a citizen in India is a constitutional authority. This point has never been properly emphasized. As a professor of political science, I know, having taught this subject, the very first sentence of the Constitution of India says, yes, it is we, the people of India. When we say we are the creators of all the institutions in this country, therefore we are a constitutional authority. There is a place for the citizen in the Constitution, but then the citizens in this country, they suffer from inferiority and they think, "Hamare haath mein kya hai?" I mean, that kind of a thing is not going to help. The citizens have to become proactive and they need to be very clear in order to bring about the change they wish to. Friends, we are all inspired by the life and teachings of Mahatma Gandhi. In fact, his very most important quotation is that there is enough in nature to meet the needs of all, but not sufficient to satisfy the greed of the few. Today, it is the few who are dictating the terms. The few corporates in every country, they are controlling the politics and the executive, and they are dictating everything. As a result, it is we, the people in every country, we are at the receiving end. And therefore, this has to be rectified. And on this occasion, the citizens of the world living in different countries, we need to come together, learn to make a common cause. And if we have to restore the damaged ecosystems, then we need to change the politics of every country, because unless we have environment-friendly leadership, environment-friendly policies, and unless we create conditions where every order of the Supreme Court is complied with, for that, the most important thing is that we, the people, should become vigilant. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Such a wonderful, message that you have given. Really will help all of us to assimilate and protect the environment. Thank you very much. Next, I would like to invite our chief guest, Sri MC Mehta ji. MC Mehta ji doesn't require any introduction to anyone. We all know that, how he has lived. His life is an example, in fact. Like we used to say for Mahatma Gandhi ji, the way Sri Mehta ji has contributed for protection of environment through the legal crusade that he has conducted in Supreme Court, High Court, National Green Tribunal, wherever he goes, he tries to see how to better this environment, and he has done it. He is a great lawyer, a role model for all of us, a committed environmentalist by choice. He has made the fight to protect India's environment by his unending mission. His success is a proof that one man can make a big difference in lives. He has, he has been for his great work. He has been, conferred with several prestigious awards. Awards are, in fact, recognition of people's love and respect for the noble cause that he has, taken up, and he has, really achieved for all of us. Some of the awards include Governor's Gold Medal, the Goldman Environment Prize, which is considered to be alternative for Nobel Prize in US and Europe, UN's Global 500 Award for 1993, Raman Magsaysay Award in 1997. Government of India has conferred him Padma Shri in 2016. And lots of accomplishments he has done, and he has also been helping the legal fraternity, the law colleges, to develop the environmental lawyers, new breed of environmental lawyers to protect the environment. He has been the guiding spirit of CGR, and also he has, laid the foundation stone for that center. We are so happy to have you here, sir, today. I request all of you on behalf of the CGR to share your valuable views.
Thank you, Pushpamarji, for and I first of all I would like to thank CGR for inviting me and to inaugurate this Earth Center. It is really I was very happy that in just 2-3 years you are able to have a center, Earth Center, where you are practically going to do things, like programs, organizing programs of the school children and various other sensitization program. So it's a wonderful thing, because when frankly, let me tell you that when I came over there, at that time, it was that place, so I was a little hesitant, that will it be possible? But you could make it, and that is a wonderful thing, and I congratulate you for all this, what you have done. And it is not, you are not doing for yourself, you are doing this for today's and for tomorrow's generations, future generations, and for the protection of environment. It is a great thing. And it is not there that yes, you have to be yogi, you have to become wear the saffron clothes and all that and do things, there is no need for that. It is a practical approach what you are taking, and I congratulate to you, both of you, for this. As far as this the decade is concerned, I was reading the other day that what is this. Let me be, don't feel that I'm pessimist, I am all the time optimist, but at the same time, I feel a pessimist because in this world, we have created bodies like UN, one of the highest body, which can really steer the whole ship, But unfortunately, the political leaderships in different countries, they are not bothered about that. Whatever has been written in these things, in the Rio conference and later on all those from Rio to today, whatever has been done, I did take the help of these conferences and the agendas and everything. And I did argue these cases, making them the foundations and all that. But very frankly, if you see that, yes, were they have this been achieved? Very little has been achieved. And I am frankly, because we have to, if we will not introspect on our own, what are we going to have? We will be just having praises for each other, but we will not be able to really contribute in a significant way. So, my friends, now the time has come that no, we have not to keep sleeping. We have to really work. As my friend Professor Purushottam Reddy has said that yes, now vulnerability and the Himalayas. I am sitting in the midst of the Himalayas right now, and everything is collapsing. The Gangaji, which starts from here, it is no more. It is being worshipped, and without Gangaji, our whole civilization is incomplete. Gangaji today is that it has become so polluted, and during this corona period it has become more polluted because there is nobody to control pollution. Authorities are sleeping, and then the latest, you might have seen that how that hundreds of the dead bodies, they were found buried in various places and all that, and floating in them. And they were, most of them, maybe the coronavirus patients, people, those who suffered there and who died. Is this our respect for Mother Ganga? I don't think so. Whether the authorities could do, they could have foreseen all these things, that yes, these things can happen. And we have to, whether it is Jamuna River, whether it is Ganga, whether it is all rivers in the country, we have polluted during this time more, if there is a true data comes out, than the earlier decades, So this is a very sad part, that to say that yes, I don't want to be pessimist, but I want to say that here, a few people, a handful of people, they can always bring a change. It is not that all the people, if they unite together, the revolutions, or whether the freedom of movement, few people were there, and then the whole population, then the people, they came forward, and then they started doing things, and then it became a huge movement, the freedom movement. And in that freedom movement, we ultimately succeeded. This is another second freedom movement. Freedom for what? Freedom from the malpractice or the pollution, freedom from pollution. We have to see that the pollution should not be in, or the conservation, we have to go for conservation, not for the pollution. So conservation is the only thing where we have to make citizens aware. You see that in fundamental rights, we have, as has been said, fundamental rights and fundamental duties. If there is one fundamental duty, it shall be the duty of every citizen of India to protect environment, rivers, lakes, and have compassion for animal life. This one line I took, and I made a writ petition out of it, and I went to the Supreme Court at that time. And in 1991, that judgment, it was a historic judgment in the sense in the whole world. The other countries, they have copied that, and they wanted to adopt that or follow in that way. But in India, we failed. After that, why we failed? That the court said that environment, in order to create environmental awareness, it is important that environment should be declared made as a compulsory subject throughout India, from class 1st to onward. The Supreme Court showed the way, but even up to this time, 3 or 2 times, I went to the Supreme Court again by saying that even they have not appointed teachers. As soon as the Supreme Court starts taking action, then issuing notice and all that, the chief secretaries from all over the country were called in the Supreme Court itself. On 1 or 2 occasions, they gave affidavits and they apologized from the court. No, we are going to do all these things. But ultimately, if whatever has been done, it is not even a half approach, half. So if that would have been done, there would not have been much problems in this country. Today, if you see that how many cancer rates are there in the country, maybe we want that the India should become a cancer hospital, or a heart diseases, or so many other waterborne diseases which the people are suffering. We are not careful. No political system, no political leaders, or the governments, the bureaucrats, they are thinking on these lines. That yes, why we are running for the more and more hospitals? We should see that if the environment is protected, then in that situation, fully clean water is provided to the people, wholesome food is given to the people, and then the fresh air to breathe. If these three things are given, then of course we don't need hospitals at all. If we need, yes, people have to be sick again in that way, because it is a life, it is the aging process, in so many things it can happen. But that is not the way, that is a separate way of looking at, but not the conserving the nature. If we conserve the nature, then we don't need more hospitals in the country. So you can think in that way, that yes, if we have all the fresh things, fresh air, the water is clean, and then all those resources are there, what we need then? We don't need too many things, So the people, because generally what you see, that the people in this country, we can't give cars to everybody in the country, or we can't provide the helicopters which the people are having, or all the planes they are having. We can't give it to them. They have to be taught that yes, if you need all these things, the three things, the fresh air to breathe, clean water to drink, and then a wholesome food to eat, and a reasonable shelter. It is not that they have to go for palatial buildings, They should not. But are we caring? We are not thinking in that way. That model is totally different. So now this, I was reading this, decade, that this is this year, 21 years, 10 more years to restore the environment. So whatever, so if we lose these 10 more years, so it means 10 more years are only for the survival. If we don't do this even 10 years period, if we don't control, if we don't restore the ecology, then it means we are gone. This is a hidden word within in the UN itself, what the articles are coming and all that. So they have assessed in a way that yes, we have a time of 10 years. So if we have a time of 10 years, then in that situation, are we still prepared for that? We are not prepared. So this is a very great thing that we have to think, in the sense that it's a challenge, it's a great challenge to India, to whole world, and especially, when we talk about India and neighboring countries, because we have the Himalayas. All sources, here the dams have burst recently, and no white paper has been given. Why the burst took place? One, Dr. G.D. Agarwal, he sacrificed his life. He was a great scientist of the country. Instead of taking help from him, he was ultimately he had to lose his life. So the overall approach should be, the government's role should be positive, not the negative one. The politician's role should be positive, not the negative. And then the people's role should be the same. It should be positive, not the negative. We have to learn from the past, and we have failed. If you see, in 47, when we got the independence in 47, at that time, what was the health of the environment at that time? you see that all the rivers were clean at that time. Though we were slave, but it was not that the Mother Ganga was a dirty river, became a dirty river. It was everything was a dumping bin. Now, who was responsible? It was not the Britishers, those who did that. They were very careful that water should be pure, and even the groundwater, everything. So we were slave. Even then, even those people, they were careful that no, because they thought that we will rule this forever. They failed, and it is good that they have gone out. But what we have done on our own. So it is a concern, that we, for all of us, that yes, now I was talking about this judgment, I three times I went, and the chief secretaries and all those, they have given the affidavits in the court. But even then, the environment has not become a compulsory subject throughout the country. Why can't they do that? It should be televised. There should be a fixed program for 5 or 10 minutes. The court said 5 to 7 minutes every day. I don't know how many channels are giving. It is the direction of the court, the Supreme Court, that yes, 5 to 7 minutes every day the programs should be given, and through the television channels and other radio networks and all that. I don't think so that they are giving. I have not monitored. I am sorry for that. But you can see that I never, and I think that Professor Pushp Kumar can put your students, that will be very happy. And I will be very happy to see that, okay, how many minutes in a day, whether they are giving 5 to 7 minutes or not. If they are not giving, then it will help me in again filing the contempt petition against the government, that okay, how many universities have adopted, how many things have happened. The people have gone, the students, those who have done, because they thought that they will be employed. All those teachers, they are unemployed today. They became they did their MA, or doctorates and all that researches and everything researchers. They come to me, they said, sir, nothing has happened. Nobody, UGC, they failed miserably. UGC, imagine, it is their job. They should have done it. But every time, sometimes the chairman says, and they also gave the affidavits in the court and everywhere. But so why I'm not pessimist here. I'm only saying that we have to see that yes, the environment is protected. And if the environment is protected, then we can survive. And all living species can survive. That is what my emphasis. And I think that the Earth Center, which this education programs, they can really change the mindset of the people, and maybe the political leadership and the bureaucrats and all those who are ruling this country, So I congratulate the Reddy and Mrs. Reddy, that yes, the Lakshma Reddy, that it is really a wonderful thing which you have done. As I told you, I was apprehensive when I came there 2-3 years back for this laying the foundation stone, but I was very happy by hearing that yes, it is ready, and now we are starting this educational program. And please do that. My sincere wishes are with you, and whatever you need in any way, support from me, I am with you all the time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Wonderful. Yes. Thanks for sharing all your experiences, and the very good message that you have given, that we have to respect our fundamental duties to protect environment. The message has to be spread to the whole of the country, and in the education system it has to come as one subject. As a one subject, environment has to be taught, whether you are an architect, whether you are a lawyer, whether you are a science student or anything. Unless you become a human being, there is no meaning of life. That you have given. We are really thankful to you, sir, for this such a wonderful message. We'll be very grateful to you always. Your guidance always supports us a lot. So thanks a lot. Before going to the next speaker, we have a small video presentation, a 3-minute video presentation about the Earth Center. I request Pawan to kindly put on that. Let us see that what are the activities they are doing and they are aspiring to do. Then we will align that with the further deliberations. Pawan, please. Madam Dr. P. Vijaya Kalyani. She is the principal of Padala Rami Reddy Law College, and she has been she specialized in international law and environmental law. She completed her PhD from Nalsar University, Hyderabad, on the topic weapons of mass destruction and international humanitarian law, which is very related to the environment that we are talking about here today. And her postdoctoral thesis is on the topic, the role of international humanitarian law with special reference to environment, to DSLNU. And that's what, really connects her with the program very well. I request her to, kindly share her views.
Yes,
Madam Dr. P. Vijaya Kalyan.
thank you so much, Mr. Kumar sir, and thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Respected and honorable legendary environmentalist, Sri M.C. Mehta sir, respected Purushottam Reddy sir, Professor Purushottam Reddy sir, our mentor at our college, visiting professor of our college who guides us, and respected members of the Council for Green Revolution, Madam Leela Lakshma Reddy Garu, President, Council for Green Revolution, Dilip Reddy sir, Dr. N. Sai Bhaskar Reddy sir, and Pavanji and Yashwanji. It's a great honor and privilege for me to be sharing this platform on the inaugural of the Earth Center and also launching of courses on this auspicious day that is World Environment Day. On this day, I would like to share some of my impressions on the legendary Sri M.C. Mehta sir, who has visited our college a very few years back, to guide us for a seminar. And our students were so inspired by his guidance and his experiences and his struggle rather for upkeeping the environment and providing way to environmental justice. We can understand the struggle that Sir must have taken because he was creating a path with no way. He was creating a path where nothing was available, and he is responsible for so much of activism in environment right now. So we are also grateful to Shri N.C. Mehta sir for providing our students an opportunity to learn of different courses and also apprenticeship at his great foundation. I'm waiting for the pandemic to rest and hope that active way of connecting to environment and sir's guidance will follow through. Now, as a teacher of environmental law from a decade, I feel that I'm still a student of environment because this is such a big ocean. And especially when I'm connected to international law, I can see that the environmental law has been derived from the international aspect, from the Stockholm Conference, where we are here earmarking this day as the World Environment Day, started from that day. I want to impress upon the judgments that have been given by Sri M.C. Mehta sir, starting with the absolute liability principle that has created a way through when people were only sticking to the strict liability principle, we have come out of giving any excuses and going ahead with following not only environment, but it was a landmark case where the tort law has gone to a great amount of transformation. I was wondering why can't absolute liability principle be applied to COVID-19 situation? Because when I was referring to the weapons of mass destruction, the biological weapons and research being done on them is illegal. So why cannot absolute liability principle be applied on that? There was a small question in my mind, and that was the amount of impression sir can create. The MC Mehta versus Kamal Nath has given out an immense amount of, again, the polluter pays principle in two ways and also public trust doctrine. When Sir was referring in an emotional way about the pollution that was done to River Ganga, I can see the soul connection of Sir to environment, which is missing from all the people because we are connected to everything else but not environment. And if we do not connect to environment, we have lost it out. So I think Sir is more realist rather than telling about the all situations that we are going to face in the future, and we are facing all the problems in the present times. So all these directions have come from Sir, and the emphasis on environmental education has really, really transformed the students and created a great lifestyle of having a healthy environment. So that transformation can only happen, like Sir has emphasized, through environmental education. Now, I would like to emphasize upon why cannot we also have a directive like in countries like New Zealand, where each and every creature, ecosystem, every part of life is equally given importance in New Zealand as a human being. Here we have environment and all other species given a different nomenclature, but there everyone is equal. That kind of a situation will really put forward. And I would like to just give my point on two things. One aspect is the recent 5G revolution. The recent 5G revolution which has come up, the upgradation of the technology. Well, there is a lot of hypothetical levels of saying that whether it has an impact on the environment. My thoughts were on whether there was an environment impact assessment on this upgradation of technology, because according to the environment impact assessment, we have to see whether something has an impact or not when we take up the technological advancement to a higher and higher level. The same thing, which is a great concern for me, is when I was doing my advanced research in international law about the space debris being built up, the remnants of these satellites. I heard that Starlink, which is led by Elon Musk, the richest man in the world. He is leading about a plan of launching around 42,000 satellites by the year 2027. Now, if that already thousands of satellites have been launched and they are planning to have life on Mars. So if such a situation happens, maybe we will not be able to see a clear sky full of stars. It's an alarming situation. So there are so many new dimensions which are connected to this technological advancement which we have to see. And why are we looking out for a life on the other planets? Have we given up life on our own planet? And the message that is given by the Council for Green Revolution is wonderful, which says reimagine, recreate, and restore. I think this is very much possible on our planet Earth if we think about it in a collective way, as MC Mehta sir has pointed it out again and again, that everyone has to coordinate, starting from the decision makers, the legislators, the bureaucratic structure, administrators, and all the people at large. When they can coordinate, then only we can have this planet Earth a safe place to live. And do not think about giving up on it. That's my very serious concern about it. I'm grateful to Professor Purushottam Reddy sir for giving me this wonderful opportunity, and have been watching sir fighting for the environment, for the Musi River and groundwater pollution, and coming up with various amount of activism and inspiring me and our students. I'm extremely grateful for this opportunity, and it's a great learning experience for which I'll be ever grateful to you. Thank you so much, and wish you all a great day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Yeah, really great. Yeah, your message really, provoked all of us to think in different directions. Particularly the line of thought that you have given, that why don't we apply absolute liability principle with COVID situation? That really is very important. I have been also thinking about it, that how to fix this responsibility, because somebody's or some countries unmindful activity, now it has taken a toll on the whole humanity, and every family is affected. Most of the families I see here in Delhi, that at least one casualty is there, and who is responsible for that? And it is not only the human beings, the environment is also suffering. We have not taken any study on this. We are only worried about human health. There are some reports that it is affecting some wild animals. We do not know how they are suffering, how they are dying, what kind of problems, health problems they have. We do not know. And this is a big subject, I think, that we need to think about. Thank you so much, madam. And, we need to explore this further. Thanks a lot. Now, life force behind all these activities, Sri Lakshma Reddy Garu. He will share his views. Before that, I would like to introduce him. He is the founder of the Council for Green Revolution. He's also the founder and patron of Greens Alliance for Conservation of Eastern Ghats. He's a very silent person, silent force behind all these accomplishments, and he's a great supporter of many social causes. He hails from a small village, Almaspalli, and with his hard work and dedication, he has prospered and he has helped so many people, and his work speaks now. Thank you so much, sir, for all your contributions. I request you to share your views.
Good afternoon to all. Today's chief guest, MC Mehta ji, Professor Purushottam Reddy sir, Sri Dilip Reddy, Professor Pushpakumar, Dr. P. Vijay Kalyani, Leela Lakshma Reddy, Dr. N. Sai Bhaskar Reddy, dignitaries, students, media, and others. I wish you a happy World Environment Day. I feel that this is very auspicious occasion on its another milestone in CGR journey. It is a pride moment for CGR. I am glad that the Earth Center is inaugurated in the gracious presence of MC Mehta Sahab and other dignitaries, CGR is over grateful to Mehta Sahab for sparing his precious time to join here, inaugurate the center and address the webinar. Thank you very much, sir. We required your blessing all the time. Professor K. Purushottam Reddy, sir, is our constant source of inspiration and motivation. He is the main guiding force behind this center. My heartfelt thanks to Sri for your goodwill and affection. I appreciate to support insights of Dilip Reddy, Dr. Tulsi Rao, Dr. Narasimha Reddy, Nel Narasimha Reddy, and Shiva Prasad and other senior members. CGR, I thank their time to inputs for the Earth Center planning. I want to offer that we will develop the facility into full-fledged center. We work to promote the center as a premier institution and environmental education and earth leadership. We want to see that people of all ages, all walks of life have their footfall here. We want them to take away inspiration, quality, learning, and motivation from here. We will work sincerely in this direction. Briefly, I want to share the rationale behind the establishment of this center. We all know the status of planet environment today. We all aware that most of the ecosystems are in peril. We know that the planet Earth is overburdened with population, consumption, and pollution. It is hot and crowded with 8 million people. We are warned with declaring the natural resources. Many species are in the brink of extinction. Our livable planet is losing all its vital life support systems. We are witness to the havoc wrought by COVID pandemic. This is the grim picture of our times. We have think sincerely and seriously. In this juncture, we need new pathway progress, a greener path ahead. We need a radical change required in earth systems governance. We need leadership guide course of human progress. We need a leadership of influence the policies, motivate and inspire people, care earth and live on harmony with nature. The sum up, I feel this here the great need of environmental championship, earth leadership and ecological stewardship. Hence, this is need can be filled by institution like Earth Center. This rationale, it is a basic premise of the initiation of this center and is supported by all the members of CGR collective journey of concerned citizens and environmentalists, journalists, academicians, scientists, and other possible souls. We are thankful to them all. We are with us in all the stages of journey, and we wish some same support and encouragement for the center. So is the theme of this year, World Environment Day. United Nations calls a reimagine, recreate, and restore the ecosystem. And this year, United Nations Day of desertification and drought on 17 June also proclaims the need of for better partnership with nature and land which are sustained. We need huge number of green leaders attend these good health interventions. Hence, Earth Center mandate is clear and bigger from village to nation. We want to do all the possible. We will work our best to serve the need for the better world, for better future. For the cause of, I request your continuous support, wider partnership and collaboration for the purpose. I congratulate Mr. Pawan and Yashwant for this coordination program. I thank one and all you all the best. Save nature, save future.
Thank you.
Thank
Sir.
you.
Thank you very much, sir. Very nicely put it, how we have to work together. Thank you very much, sir. Now I request Dr. Sai Bhaskar Reddy, the director of Earth Center, to tell a few words about the activities and his experience here. Dr. Sai Bhaskar Reddy is a international environment and development professional. He has a rich experience in the field of environment for the past 2 decades in climate change, environment, energy, agriculture, disaster management, water, and other developmental aspects. And he has double master's degrees in sciences, one in applied geology from IIT Bombay, and the other one in geography. And he has pursued his PhD on the topic environment impact assessment. Very richly experienced person. Now he is heading the Earth Center of the Council for Green Revolution. He has conceptualized and contributed to the concept of the Earth Centers, Geospiritual, Earth Clubs, and emergence of Earth leadership. Over to you, sir, Dr. Sai Bhaskar Reddy.
Thank you very much, sir. Respected dignitaries, Shri MC Mehta ji and Professor K. Purushottam Reddy sir, Shri Pushpa Kumar ji, and Shri R. Dilip Reddy garu, and Professor Vijay Kalyani madam, and the founders of CGR, Shri K. Lakshma Reddy garu and Srimati K. Leela Lakshma Reddy madam, and all the earth leaders who have participated today in this event. We have a concept in CGR, anybody who has the interest or who are committed for the earth and for its sustainability, they are the earth leaders, and they are also partners with us. And today is an important occasion, that is World Environment Day, as well as the inauguration of the Earth Center virtually, although we planned physically because of Corona and all the challenges. And we are happy that NC Mehta sir, who laid the foundation stone, today is also inaugurating the completed infrastructure, the Earth Center, and also declared the Earth Center courses. And this is also a day to remember the Foundation Day of Grace about 10 years back. On the same day it was founded. Although it is a day to, altogether it's a day to remember in the chronicles of the CGR. The functional Earth Center, now it is open and declared. And with the mentoring and guidance of Professor K. Purushottam Reddy sir, he was continuously telling us we need a center and we need to start the courses. And Sri K. Lakshma Reddy garu and Srimati K. Lakshma Reddy garu have initiated and realized the Earth Center with a beautiful, it's a beautiful place, and it's close to a natural reserve, forest reserve, and the landscape is very nice, and anybody who comes there would definitely get connected to the Mother Earth. And with the blessings of Sri Mehta ji, with the foundation stone laid, and now this whole center is existing and it's open, and we will strive, as Lakshma Reddy sir just before said, for the emergence of the earth leadership. That's a global leadership. That's what our goal is. And presently we have two important ongoing global common commitments. From today onwards, especially, these are very much important for the leadership with a vision and mission to achieve them. As UN has declared today itself, ecosystem restoration decade actually, so 2021 to 2030, by which we need to achieve a global mission to revive billions of hectares from forests to farmlands, from top of mountains to the depth of the ocean. And only with healthy ecosystems can we enhance people, we can enhance people's livelihoods, counteract climate change, and stop the collapse of biodiversity. And also we already have the UN SDGs before us, that is 17 goals to be achieved by 2030. And with this, I think there is enough work for the earth leaders with the common goals, and with this especially Corona and the pandemic that we have, and global recession that is happening, and there is enough focus on the nature and environment too in this particular situation. And here some of the courses I will just outline the types of courses that we intend to launch here are the campus courses will be there. They will be short term as well as long term, including choice-based credit system will be there. This is with the recent national education policy system that we are working. And online courses, yes, these courses we are launching immediately because physically we cannot launch the courses. So this will continue in the future also. And there will be collaborative courses with other universities, institutes, and agencies that with partnerships we will do that. And there will be student exchange programs, especially for this for their internship or fellowships and for their own thesis. And we'll also encourage research and studies here at this center. And anybody visiting the Earth Center, we have created so many demo forms or demonstration things here. So there will be lots of exposure and awareness on organic farming and automatic weather stations, including air pollution monitoring, solar park, and solid waste management, grey water treatment, green buildings, and rural energy aspects like that. Many things one could, having visited this place, could see practically. And one could also have this hands-on experience on, say, nursery balls, that seed balls and nursery raising, etc. And presently we have a capacity to train 50 to 100 people in a day. And we are having plans to build the capacity building of at least 10,000 people in a year. So in this year also we have such plans. So and other infrastructure or the buildings are coming up in a phased manner that will happen very soon. We have enough space in this Earth Center. And some of the courses that we already shaped up and they are being launched. And the first course is environmental law, policy and judicial remedies. And Professor Pushpa Kumar sir is one of the main persons, and Mr. Pawan Kumar is the course director for this one. And this course will be launched in this month itself. And other courses which are in the pipeline are the plantation, which is based on our rich 10 years or 11 years experience of CGR as a mission that where the government could adopt some of our concepts. All this will be taught here. And nursery raising and seed balls, these are other courses in demand. And village Earth Centers where designs and other concepts which we need to bring up as part of consultations to the villages. This is also in demand. And organic farming and smart villages, green buildings, and on a course on pesticides. So these are the other courses planned. And I also appreciate all our course directors of the Earth Center, Mr. Pawan Kumar, Mr. Uma Mahesha Reddy, Mr. Yeshwant, Mr. Krishna, Mr. Venkatesh, Mr. Vardhan. They have very rich experience, a practical experience. They're coming from our own action research projects. So this will enrich the participants who are coming to the Earth Center for any kind of learning, awareness, networking. And so there will be, it's an opportunity for everyone. And I wish everybody would join these courses, and we will do our best. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Wonderful. Wonderful. I think, I'm really hoping that, the Earth Center will be a very important voice in this country, and it will spread environmental education through its courses. Thanks a lot and best wishes for this. Now we are coming to the end of the program after listening to such distinguished panelists here, and they have all given such wonderful messages that we have to keep in mind when we are doing all our day-to-day activities. Whatever we are doing, environment and our health becomes first. I think during this COVID era, we have all understood what is important in life. People with lots of money, loads and loads of money, all kinds of degrees they have studied. They are in big, big positions. Nothing mattered. Nothing mattered before the health issues and environmental issues. As Purushottam Reddy sir has rightly stated, reflecting on the, David Attenborough's, the words, we are in face to face with the next extinction crisis. Unless we take the good message spread by all the dignitaries, particularly MC Mehtaji, we are not going in the right direction. But we all have all the strength, all the facilities, technology, knowledge, awareness with us. Only thing is that we have to translate this into action. Each one of us, little. You need not become a complete, environmentalist for the whole life. You need not sacrifice anything. We need to be compassionate. We need to be helpful. We need to be sensitive in our actions. The moment we change a little bit in our actions, the world, the whole environment is taken care of. Our health is taken care of. Everyone is safe. Everyone is happy. That is possible. That is the real message that comes out of this, World Environment Day program. I thank all the dignitaries, distinguished, the speakers here for sharing their wonderful, views and wisdom and their experience for our benefit. I'd like to thank our chief guest, Sri Mehtaji, for sparing his very, very valuable time on this important day and sharing his experience. I thank Professor Purushottam Reddy Garu, Mr. Lakshma Reddy Garu, and Madam Lakshma Leela Reddy Madam. All of them, showing their good work, that what they are doing through, through the Earth Center as well as the Council for Green Revolution. And I think, this will go a long way in changing the lives of the people in the times to come. So many participants are, listening to us, seeing the change happening here. And I hope, this will be a role model institution for many other, states to follow. It should also grow so well in other states. That will help the children, because one of the very good questions that we have, because of due to paucity of time, I have not taken up the questions here. I have answered directly to the participants. And one of the persons have asked, she is the, the forest student. He asked that as a student, what I can do. And can you take this message to all the children? Because only when you sow this seed in the minds of the children, when they grow, they will be, able to protect the environment. That's the question which was asked. I've answered in the same manner. It is possible. CGR, Earth Center, kind of institutions will do this. And it is not only that, as Mehtaji has stated, that it has to be, inculcated through the curriculum. And once this is incorporated into the school curriculum, till the college level and PG level, then it will spread and it will really contribute. And it is not just by doing these activities, changing our attitudes and contributing our own self, that only will be the key message for everyone. So I'm so happy. I also thank, Sri Dilip Reddy Garu, Madam, Vijaya Kalyani Madam, Dr. Vijaya Kalyani Madam, the principal of, Padala Ramareddy College, Law College. Then Dr. N. Sai Bhaskar Reddy sir, for sharing your, work and your, the activities that you are planning to do. And we have not seen, the two persons, particularly Pavan Kumar, who is a young lawyer who has been, doing all these activities for the protection of environment. Pavan Kumar is once, a very important person who has contributed for this program. He is a program coordinator and also the program manager, Yashwant, for doing all this. Thank you very much for your immense contributions. I thank the media. You have to take this message to all the people. So thank you for your valuable time. Thank you to all the participants who have spared your time to, join with us and to share, your questions also. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much.